In the last video, I was building out my car in preparation for a road trip, but an unfortunate turn of events sent me to the junkyard and back to square one. So here's a little overview sketch from the police report. That's me right there. This right here is the second driver. We're gonna call him Mr. D and not share his name. Anyhow, he was in this lane right here. Instead of waiting for me to just pass by, he decided to challenge the 4Runner face on and totaled both of our cars. And at first I was kind of feeling bad for Mr. D until I saw in the police report that he was blaming me for coming to the intersection and then speeding into him and hitting him on purpose. So Mr. D, if you're watching, I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're healthy. I hope your family's okay. And I also hope your insurance company raises your premiums. So welcome back everyone to my second video. If you watched the first video and you got a sharp eye, you may be noticing, hey, your car changed colors. And that's because I got in an accident. So I got this one as a replacement. I don't even have a license plate on it yet. Unfortunately as well, the snow caught up to me. But for this one, I won't bore you through the process of building it out. I'm just gonna snap my fingers. And she's done. Everything's in, ready to go. I'll probably give a complete tour of it once I've been living in it for a while and I got a better idea of where everything goes. But tomorrow morning, it's time to hit the road and get going. So I headed out the next morning. My first stop was gonna be in Phoenix, and I had a pretty uneventful first day of 14 hours of driving. I spent the night at a rest stop in Texas and then hit the road the next morning for some more foggy driving. I stopped at the Blue Hole in New Mexico, which is kind of neat. It's just a deep blue hole in the middle of the desert, and I was gonna swim, but it was a little too cold, so I passed. Stopped at a meteor crater in Arizona, and the lady at the entrance smiled and told me it'd be $30 to see the crater. So I smiled back and said no thanks and flew my drone from the parking lot to get a view. Kind of amazing to think that this huge crater happened just from a meteor coming in from space and hitting it in the middle of the desert. Stopped in Sedona for a hike and some stunning views, but it happened to be a Saturday, so there were big crowds of people. After a few days of driving, I finally reached Phoenix. I was due for a pretty necessary brake job, so I got that done. And then had a couple days of visiting my sister and her family and playing with the kids. Boop. 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 Then I had another visit in sunny San Diego with some friends. I changed my oil on my 4Runner, and after that it was finally time to hit the road and start to get going towards Mexico. I planned to cross the border at Mexicali, and I saw on Google Maps that right next to the border there were these remote hot springs. So I was going to spend the night there, and when I got there, I noticed that they weren't as remote as I thought, and it was the cheapo snowbird mecca. So if you're ever looking to retire on a budget, this might be the spot for you. After dipping the hot springs, I headed over to my camping spot for the night, and I met this guy, Tom, who'd been living there for 6 years, and he gave me a beer. We're starting it off. What's your name again?
Tom.
Tom. Thank you, Tom. I watched a beautiful sunrise in the morning, and then couldn't resist another dip in the hot springs. Just had to ignore the fact that I'm soaking in there with 10 other people that probably haven't had a shower in a minute. So I'm hiding out here in the back of the car, eating my last meal in the USA. I'm like 10 miles away from the border with Mexico, about to cross. And yeah, it's kind of a wild feeling. Hopefully it all goes smooth. I read up online a little bit about the border crossing, and shouldn't be too much of an issue. And yeah, see you guys on the other side. After one of the most relaxed border crossings in the world, where the Mexican customs inspector just opened up my back seat and high-fived my bags and then waved me through, I was on the other side of the famous wall, looking at it from the Mexican side. I was making my way down to San Felipe, and that's where I was going to spend the first night. But first, I had a quick reminder that I'm in a third world country and stopped for a forklift unloading drywall in the middle of the street. See? Hola.
Buenas tardes.
Hi.
¿Todo bien?
Good. My Spanish is only a little bit.
Open the window, expect you.
Yeah, okay. Of course. I've got a lot of stuff. You want me to step out? Yeah.
Págala.
Turn it off.
San Felipe?
San Felipe and then Guerrero. Yeah, for like surfing.
Surfear.
Yeah, exactly.
¿Hay ahí olas grandes? ¿Olas?
Picanha.
¿Qué modelo es el vehículo?
What's that in English?
¿La documentación?
The documents for it, you want to see? This is the registration, license, and I have insurance too. You want to see the insurance?
¿Precio? ¿Cuánto cuesta?
How much it costs? In US dollars, like 8,000. Like in 8,000.
Ah, ok.
Yeah.
Ya.
Yeah. Gracias.
Gracias.
Adiós. first road inspection stop was a success. I feel like I did pretty good. And they're not really out there to get people like me, just tourists cruising by. They're looking for like crime or drugs or stuff coming through. But no matter what, when you're in a foreign country and you don't speak the language and a guy just comes up to your car and goes, actually two guys, and one of them's got a machine gun, and he comes up to you and he just goes, inspecting. No matter what, I think it's going to take a lot of getting used to for that to not feel strange. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good success. And thank you to the Mexican police for keeping people like me safe. Adios. When I got to San Felipe, I stopped for my first tacos and then headed out down a dirt road to get to my camping spot for the night. As soon as I got to my camping spot, I went down to the beach to try and catch dinner. I'm not that good of a fisherman, so this Baja trip is going to be a big learning curve for me. But I've heard Baja's supposed to be some of the best fishing in the world, so I've got high hopes. Anyway, as you're going to see here in a minute, I didn't catch anything tonight, so it's going to be a canned tuna fish dinner for me. So I didn't catch any fish for dinner, but the good news is I found out something almost more important than that. This thing has been so cumbersome in my car. This is going to be so nice. I can actually have that fold in two. So here's a little overview of what I did today. I crossed the border in Mexicali, and then I drove all the way down to San Felipe, which is where I am now. And then my future plans are to head down as quick as possible to Guerrero Negro to see the gray whale migration, and then possibly all the way down to Cabo. We'll see where I go from there.